A very good morning to all of you. Hope all of you are fine at your home. So today we are starting our chapter 6, that is cyber safety. All of we are using internet. We are starting our internet. So we are using internet in many of the ways. Either we are doing uh, e-shopping or we are using e-commerce. That is the same thing. We are using our social media accounts. So many things are there over internet. So the possibility of hacking the data or misusing of the data is very much over the internet. So to avoid that, we must ensure the safety of the data. So what is this cyber safety? It refers to the safe and responsible use of internet so that to ensure safety and security of personal information and not posing threat to anyone else information. It involves gaining knowledge about possible threats to personal safety and security risks for the information along with measures to prevent and counter them. Now, identity protection while using internet. So we are using social media, we are buying and selling the goods to send the information. So if we give out private data to business or other internet user, we trust them to use that information, and that should not be misused. So here two options are given: private browsing and anonymous browsing while browsing over internet, that we'll discuss later on. Firstly, we'll discuss ways how websites track you. We are saying that our data can be hacked, that can be misused, how our data is going to the hackers. So there are so many ways. First one is IP address. For each and every computer, one unique address is allotted. That address is called IP address, Internet Protocol Address. This is a unique address of your device. When you connect to the internet, it's likely that your computer shares your IP address with other network devices on your house or office. So this IP address can be tracked. Then cookies and tracking scripts. Whenever we browse any of the websites, some of the data is stored in these cookies. So these cookies are can act as a information sender to third parties or the hackers. So these are the small piece of information websites that can store your browser. They have plenty of latitude use. For example, when you sign into your online banking website, cookie members your login information like your ID, password, all these. So one session is made there. So cookies can be first party cookies and third party cookies. So first party cookies store your own login ID, passwords, autofill information for some websites that you frequently visit. And third party cookies are those cookies that websites store to know about search history and web browsing history so as to place advertisements as per your interest. However, have you noticed ever, like, you are visiting some websites and related to that website you are getting some ads or related some information? The next one is HTTP referer. When you click a link, your browser loads the web page linked to it and tells websites wherever you came from. For example, if you click link to outside website, for example here one picture is shown here. If you are clicking on this ad, you can go to some another page. So that is called HTTP referer. Then super cookies. These are also cookies but are persistent cookies. They come back even after you delete them. So we can delete the cookies, but super cookies cannot be deleted. If we are deleting them, they came back. Super cookies store cookies data in multiple places, for example in flash cookies, Silverlight storage and all. Then user agent. Your browser also sends a user agent every time you connect to the website. This tells websites your browser and operating system, providing another piece of data that can be stored and used to target ads that basically work for the ads. Now, private browsing and anonymous browsing. Anonymous browser allow users to view websites without revealing any personal information like their IP address. So our IP address will not be shown on the internet. if we are doing anonymous browsing. An anonymous browser lets users access websites anonymously. It can be used as a tool for governments, journalists, and everyday security conscious surfers. Next is private browsing. So another way is private browsing. In private browsing, some more categories are given here. Incognito browsing, like hiding real name and identity. If we are hiding our real name, like sometimes you see in newspaper also, in news also, you have to hide your identity. If you are creating any account on social media, you should not give any sensitive information over there. So that is like that. Next is proxy. It works as acting as a middleman between your computer and a website. So sometimes you also give proxy attendance, so that is like that. On behalf of your computer, you are using another computer. Now that tracking website will get the IP address and information that belongs to the proxy site, not your information will be gone to the internet. Then virtual private network, that is a method used to add security and privacy to private and public networks like Wi-Fi hotspots and the internet. These VPNs are most often used by corporations to protect sensitive data. Virtual private networks are originally meant for business employees working off-site to gain access to shared drives or networks. So basically, private browsing is a type of browsing wherein browser opens in a incognito mode, like your identity will be hide. That is also part of private browsing. Then proper uses of passwords. So basically, while we are using we are creating any account, so we have to give our information, some information over there. So if we are using the password for any of, especially for any of transactions like banking websites, so for there we have to keep some points in our mind. Keep your personal information safe, protect your emails, files and other content. Password helps us to keep our personal information safe, protect our mails, files and other content, prevent someone from breaking into your account. Now, the ways in which password may be cracked. How your password can be cracked. Someone's out to get you, like he knows your behavior, he can guess your password. Second one is you become the victim of brute force attack. The attack work by systematically checking all possible preferences until the correct one is found. So he or she will try until she is not reaching his target. This is a data breach. Every few months, it seems another huge company reports a hacking resulting in millions of people's account information being compromised. This way, your account details may also get leaked, including passwords. So, if we we don't want to guess our password, then which points we should follow? No dictionary words, proper nouns or foreign words should be used because they are very easy to guess. No personal information like your date of birth and all these things should not be there. Use longer passwords, and that should be a mix up of uppercase, lowercase, numbers and other symbols. You don't use only characters, don't use only alphabets or numbers only. Use mixture of all these things. Use passphrases to remember complex password. For example, one example is given: pass W for my site. Instead of S, it is using dollar, exclamation, all these things are there. So it is very difficult to guess this type of password. Do not repeat passwords on different websites. Suppose you are having an account on Twitter, Facebook and all these websites, so don't use same password for each and every website. In nutshell, you should use these techniques to develop unique passwords. These are here. Use different password on different systems and accounts. Do not use passwords that are based on personal information like your name, surname, your father, mother name, or your date of birth, or your mobile number. Use a combination of capital and lower letters, numbers and special character as I have shown you here. Do not use words that can be found in any dictionary or any language. Develop mnemonics such as passphrases for remembering complex passwords. Now, confidentiality of information. How your information should be kept confidential while you are using any bank website, or you are doing some shoppings, you are using some shopping websites, or you are using some social media. So, practices to ensure confidentiality of information is, first one is use firewall wherever possible. Firewall is just like a wall between your computer and the outsider data, or you can say internet. So firewall should be used. It is a very good solution for ensuring the confidentiality of information. Firewall is a program that monitors all communications and traps all illicit packets, activity or substances. Illicit means activity or substances. Most operating systems now come with the firewall pre-installed. If it is not pre-installed, you have to install it. Topic is next topic is control web browser setting to block tracking. So you already know that websites can track your suffering on their website by IP addresses. So you should not be tracked, like you should delete your cookies and all these things. Browse privately wherever possible. Anonymous browsing or private browsing should be used. Be careful while posting on internet. While you are posting anything over internet on your social media especially, be very extra careful. Do not post anything before thinking. Like, do not post any sensitive information. Ensure safe sites while entering crucial information. How do we know which site is safe? So I tell you these some points. First one is, if HTTPS is there instead of HTTP, that is a secure website. And second thing I tell you, in this figure you can see here one padlock symbol is there, that is for secure connection. So if you want your secure connection, then you have to see this padlock symbol. If it is locked, that means it is a secure website. Then carefully handle emails. Sometimes while using email, sending or receiving emails, some threats, viruses came from these emails. So if you are receiving any mail from unknown resources, do not open that mail. Do not open the attachment if it is from unrecognized resources. Next is, do not give sensitive information on wireless network, because all of we are using Wi-Fi these days. If you are using public Wi-Fi, like from airports, railways, if it is free or that is available for everyone, so there especially be extra careful while using sensitive information. Then avoid using public computers. If you are going to somewhere, you are using any computer on any cyber cafe or all these things, so there use only that. Do not deal there with crucial data. And avoid entering sensitive information onto public computers. Do not leave the computer unattended with sensitive information. Disable the feature that stores passwords. Properly log out before you leave the computer, and erase history and traces of your work. Then online safety. What is online safety? When we are using internet, viruses or some unwanted programs can come on your computer, and those unwanted programs are called malware. By combining the word malicious and software, this is called malware. Malware includes computer viruses. Viruses, unwanted programs that can delete the file, damage your computer. Next is worm. Worms are self-replicating programs, and they eat up all the entire disk space in memory. Trojan horse are hidden programs. They seem harmless, but they are very harmful. Then spyware, that can be installed in your computer, and that can come through any of the unsecured or website or from any email. They can spy your data, and they can send your crucial information to someone else. Ransomware. They infects the computer, then encrypt sensitive data as personal documents or photos and demands money for their release. That is ransom. If you refuse to pay, the data can be deleted. Then adware, you can see on your computer sometimes while using internet, some pop-ups are there, some unwanted advertisements are there. That is called adware. So we'll continue our chapter in next class. Till then, read this chapter from the book. Take care.